Mastering Negotiation. Insights from Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Today we're going to explore insight from the book Never Split the Difference, written by Chris Voss, who worked in the Federal Bureau of Investigation for 24 years, serving as the lead for international kidnapping and hostage cases. Chris has saved many American lives during his career, utilizing his prowess for negotiation and knowledge of human psychology. This book is a treasure trove for sales professionals, helping you understand practical negotiation tactics to be applied during your sales presentation. Overview. This book gives you real insight into the art of negotiation. It teaches you how you can deploy a wide range of negotiation tactics that will help increase the chances of a favorable outcome. In Never Split the Difference, Chris takes you into an all or nothing world where lives are at stake. The techniques he deploys has to work. It is literal life or death. So what are some lessons we can apply to help us become better negotiators and presenters? Simple strategies from the book every sales professional can use. Creating tactical empathy, using calibrated questions, utilizing the power of silence, methodically overcoming objections, creating tactical empathy. One of the key takeaways from the book is the concept of creating tactical empathy. This is a fancy way of saying building rapport. Chris states, in order to create tactical empathy, you must understand 3 key things about the person you are talking to: their emotions, their motivations, and their perspective. So how does one better understand their client's emotions, motivations, and perspective during a sales presentation? By actively listening. Show that you're engaged in the conversation by giving verbal cues back to the client, such as "I see" or "I understand." Also, actively write down important bits of information the client has made so you can track it later. By mirroring. Subtly imitate the other party's speech pattern or tone. This creates a sense of familiarity and eases the other person's mind by asking open-ended questions. Encourage the other party to share information, needs, and feelings. Ask questions like, "Can you tell me more about that?" Or, "How did that situation make you feel?" By being conscious of your tone and voice. Avoid confrontational or aggressive language. Convey empathy and respect. Have a tone of genuine concern and positive demeanor by making empathetic statements. Express empathy directly by using phrases like, "I get how you feel that way," or "I can appreciate your concern." These statements validate the other person's emotions and opinions. Finally, try to summarize what the other party has just said. By periodically summarizing what the other person is saying, you show that you are actively listening and comprehend what they're talking about. Calibrated questions. During your presentation, you should ask calibrated questions to encourage your client to share information. You have to ask strategic questions that'll help guide your client in making a favorable decision. Examples of calibrated questions are, "Can you help me understand what a successful outcome would look like for you?" This question invites the other party to express their desired result, allowing you to tailor your presentation accordingly. "Could you share more about your past experiences working with a similar product?" By discussing past experiences, you gain insight into their expectations and challenges. What are some of the most important factors you will consider when making this decision? By asking about their decision-making criteria, you gain insight into their priorities and what matters most to them. What are your timeline expectations? Understanding their timeline helps you assess their sense of urgency. This understanding helps you align your close accordingly. Remember, you are meant to customize these questions into your product and presentation. Also, quick disclaimer. Please do not deploy these strategies with some malevolent intent. We are here to create genuine marketplace value, not to manipulate people. So to summarize, calibrated questions help you to gather essential information while naturally helping your client realize important benefits of your product. Utilizing silence effectively. One of the most important things in negotiation is to not dominate the conversation. Always encourage the other party to share their thoughts. Remember, we are here to talk about what they want. So, how can you say less? Methods you can use during your presentation to utilize effective silence are: ask a question and wait. After you posed a question or made a statement, allow for a pause of silence. Give time to the other party to process your information. Try to avoid the temptation to fill silence with unnecessary jargon. Use the accusation audit. This simply implies you point out possible objections before the client does. For example, you might say, "You're probably thinking this offer is going to be too expensive," or "You're probably thinking they have to be using cheap materials with the price this good." You are getting ahead of potential landmines and creating a more collaborative atmosphere. The accusation audit encourages the other party to confirm or deny their thoughts and perspective. Listen actively. Look for changes in body cues or tone shifts. Empathize with their concerns, demonstrate understanding, and periodically summarize the conversation. Don't interrupt. Resist the urge to interrupt the other party or to rush in to fill in silence with an explanation. Avoid pressure. Avoid using silence as a form of pressure or intimidation. The goal is to create space, not force compliance. Use silence sparingly. While silence can be powerful, it should be used judiciously. Don't overuse silence to a point where it becomes confrontation. Reflect and respond thoughtfully. After the other party has made a response, take a moment to reflect before making a statement. This demonstrates you are seriously considering their viewpoint. Overcoming objections. Handling objections is a pretty much given requirement in any sales role. According to Voss, the best way to handle objections is to anticipate the objection and have a response already prepared. Here's a step-by-step framework for handling objections during your presentation. 1. Listen tentatively. When people raise objections, listen and do not interrupt. Let them express themselves fully. 2. Acknowledge and label. Acknowledge and label the other party's concern. For example, "I understand you're concerned about the cost," or "Based on what you're saying, it seems like you have concerns about the timeline." 3. Ask open-ended questions. Use open-ended questions to explore the objection further. For example, "What specifically worries you about this?" 4. Mirror and summarize. Repeat back what you just heard to show understanding. Summarize their objection. For example, "So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're worried about the quality of our service. Is that right?" 5. Isolate objections. If there are multiple objections, address them one at a time. Ask which objection is most important to them and focus on resolving that concern first. 6. Create no or how responses. These responses are a strategic way to help keep the conversation open and guide the other party towards a more collaborative mindset. An example would be the client says, "Your delivery timeline doesn't work." And your response would be, "How can we adjust the timeline to better suit your requirements?" You're essentially proposing a question to answer the objection. 7. Try to offer alternatives. Try your best to propose alternative options to address objections. Providing two options gives the other party a sense of control. Remember, the goal is not to simply overcome objections, but to address them in a way where both parties involved are satisfied. Employing these objection handling techniques will help you as a sales professional close more deals. Conclusion. In summary, Never Split the Difference equips sales professionals with actionable negotiation skills and practical knowledge of human psychology. It provides a valuable framework of how you should structure your sales presentation. It gives you a basic formula on how you should think during your presentation. By adapting the concepts found in this book, you will improve your sales negotiation skills, and more importantly, you will improve your bank account. If you've enjoyed this video, please give us a like and subscribe for more business development content. I'm Saad Halder from AV Marketer. Till next time.